Hello everyone and welcome back to Hockey Talk. I'm your host Jack Brooks, and today I will be talking about my prediction for who will finish in last place in the Pacific Division. One more thing before we get started, this podcast I will do a bold prediction at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. And on that note, let's get started into this episode. So my pick for in last place in the Pacific Division is none other than the Arizona Coyotes, and here's why. So now, look, last season the Coyotes finished in last place, and I know this is winning isn't easy episode number 4 right now, and I've been doing a lot of them where it's whoever finished in last place is going to finish in last place again, and yes, I know. But now the Coyotes didn't just finish in last place last year, but the year before that, back in 2016, they were second to last to the Vancouver Canucks, and they barely, and I mean just barely, edged them out. So to me, this team has really been struggling, and I don't see them really coming back. And not to mention, they're already 0 wins, 0 losses in overtime, and 2 losses. They're already 0-2. So they haven't proven that one. Okay, for me, they have proven that once in last place, a quarter into the season, they cannot make a comeback. And I know it's nowhere near the quarter mark of the season, but to me, like I said, they're already 0-2. Who knows? At this point, they're already in last place, 0-2. The way they've been playing, not just during this season so far, but during the off season, I still see them in last place, a quarter mark into the season, and they've proven once they're at that point, they give up on themselves and they're unable to come back. So to me, that's just another one of the many reasons why I think that there's no chance for the Coyotes this year. And they haven't improved this team in so long. Going back to last season, last place. Going back to the season before that, second to last place. This team and this management does not know how to rebuild a hockey team. They've been, in the past 3 years, they've improved their goalkeeper, and that's it. They keep on sending up guys from the minor leagues who aren't ready to get on the ice for a real NHL hockey team, and for whatever reason, they keep on sending them up. They waste draft picks. They trade away for prospects who they'll think will do really good, and then never put them on the actual NHL team and just replace them for a guy who is way worse than the actual prospect. Like I said, they keep on trading their draft picks away. For the draft picks that they do have, they'll rather get a good player and waste his career in the minors, or they'll waste a draft pick on a really bad player, their right wing, and then use him in the season, and it just doesn't work out at all. This team cannot be rebuilt, at least if the way the management is thinking for this Coyotes team. To me, there's no chance anytime soon that they're going to do something good to this team to help improve it, to get out of this massive slump that they've been in. So, going back to the haven't improved this team in so long once again, to me, already starting off the season 0-2, other than the Vancouver Canucks, this is a rough division. You got the Kings, you got the returning conference champs, the Vegas Golden Knights, you have the Ducks who have been really good last season, you got the Sharks who really proved themselves in the playoffs. To me, this is way too of a tough division for this underrated team. And the Vancouver Canucks, yes, that's honestly, to me, the only team that they can beat in this division. And with even the Canucks are really bad, to me, the Arizona Coyotes management, once again going back to that, cannot rebuild their hockey team. They need to realize what minors they really need to be bringing up. They can't trade away so many draft picks, and then for the draft picks that they do have, they really got to put some thought into who they're going to pick ahead of time. They need to scout way more players. To me, they haven't been doing this. That has been proven in the past 2 going on 3 seasons. To me, this team definitely needs just an absolute ton of work. And now, as promised, I will do a bold prediction in this episode, and today's bold prediction will be the New York Islanders will have the most power play minutes in all of the NHL, and here's why. This is going back to my last episode where I talked about the Islanders finishing in last place in their division because of the lack of communication on both offense and defense, and how the power plays have been killing them for the past couple of years. To me, just going back on that episode with the lack of communication and the killing themselves with power plays, I really think that they're going to really have the most power play minutes in all of the NHL, not just in their division, not in their conference, all of the NHL, because you probably know lack of communication, especially on both sides of the ice, will lead to miscommunication on who's covering who, a bunch of just skating around the ice randomly when they need to cover a man. Eventually, someone is going to trip an opponent or try to get to someone else to cover them and end up causing a penalty. Just the lack of communication for me is too much to handle for this team. I don't see them really knowing what to do in certain type of situations. And not only will lack of communication cause the power plays, but lack of communication can also cause some stress and feeling like they're under pressure, which will lead to a hooking, a high stick, delay of game because they're trying to figure out what they need to do. They'll just freeze up. To me, there is no way with the communication that this team has and not communication, it starts with a C. I'll think of it later, but, so, to me, just the lack of, really knowing your teammates, the lack of just teamwork, that will cause panic to them. Chemistry, that's the word I was looking for. The lack of chemistry, that will cause them to panic on the ice, and to me, that's going to cause a lot of power plays for them, so I don't really see this New York Islanders team with the young team that they have really stopping a lot of power plays from being handled this season. So that's what I'm just going to end the episode on that note. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave a like on the podcast and comment down below who you think will be in last place in the Pacific Division. Also, please join me here next week on Saturday. And until then, I'm Jack Brooks, signing off for now here on Hockey Talk.